Yo, what up everybody? Mr. Smith back again with another video about Arduino, electronics, and C++ programming. So in our last video, we simulated a real-world stoplight by creating a circuit with a red, yellow, green LED, and then we wrote a program that cycled like red, then delayed, went to green, delayed, and then a small delay to yellow. Alright, and then back to red, and we just kept looping. So in this video, we're actually going to take it one step forward, and we're going to be using an LED, but it's an RGB. So it's got a red, green, and blue LED node inside of it, so this way you can create any color on the spectrum. Alright, so here on the, you can see the schematic for the electronics right here. So I'm going to go through how this is done. Alright. Sorry, my dog is bothering me. Okay, so for this, go ahead and take out your Arduino board, and you can hook it up to the power so that it's on. And you're going to need your RGB LED. So inside your kit, you're looking for the LED that has 4 different toes. Alright, so I'm actually going to go ahead and spread these toes out a little bit because we're going to have to put them into that breadboard. Unless they're spread out, they're kind of hard to get in there. Alright. You're also going to need a red, green, and blue wire to represent the 3 colors, and also a black wire. If you have a long one, that would be best. But if not, you can just use one of the smaller ones. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to pull up our schematic. So in the schematic, let's go ahead and start with the RGB. So you will notice that there are kind of different sized legs here. Alright, and I believe the longest one is our ground. So I'm going to go ahead and place this into the board, but I'm going to put the second one right there. So guys, for this, actually put it in the furthest row back because we're going to use resistors. Alright, so go ahead and pop it in. Right, sorry, I hadn't switched. So pop it in kind of that second row, similar to where I've got mine in relation to the board. Alright, the very next thing we need to do now is we need to run our resistor. Alright, so this is the first time we've talked about resistors. You've got this little bag inside of there that's got all different size resistors. What we're looking for is the 220 ohm. So when you open up your bag, you will see that each of these have a number. Alright, so this one right here is the 100,000 ohm or 100 kilo ohm. But what you are looking for is the one that says 220. Alright, so just look through and you should find the 220. Alright, and that's what I've got here is the 220 ohm resistors. So you're going to pull 3 of these off. Alright, and just pull on them. It's okay if you bend them a little bit. Look, I bent mine a little bit. You know, they're wires. That's what you're supposed to do. And then you can go ahead and put your resistors back into your Ziploc bag, so that way they'll fit in your kit nice and easy. So back in the bag. Alright. So we're going to take our resistors, and if we look at the schematic, we need one going from everywhere but that second node. Alright, and we're going to go straight across kind of that embankment or the grid. So I'm going to line it up with my first one like so, and then just place it right across. Alright, so right across is right there. So then I'm going to take my second resistor, and I'm going to put it in the third, on the third toe. Alright, because remember, the second one is your ground. If you look at that schematic, the second one is your ground. So don't worry if you end up getting your LED in there backwards. Alright, if your LED is in backwards, then your light won't come on, but a simple flip of the LED will let it come on. When you're putting these in, just make sure they're going all the way down so they're making contact. All right, so like so. All right, so I've got my 3 resistors in. Looking pretty good. All right, so I've got my 3 resistors in. So now I'm going to run my black cord from the 2 hole. All right, looking at our schematic. We're going to run it from the 2 hole into the ground. All right, so where that second leg is, over into the ground, like so. All right, so let me rotate so you can kind of see that I've put it into the ground. All right, camera focused. So now we want to run our positives. So if we look at our schematic, our positives, red is in 6, green is in 5, and blue is in 3. So 6, 5, 3. 6, 5, 3. So red is in 6. So I'm going to go ahead and right here in front of the resistor, run that over here to the 6. All right, again, guys, I'm just following that schematic, right? I'm rolling from the very first toe or foot of our LED, our RGB LED, over into the 6. Then the next one I'm going to do is RG, green, right? So green, I'm going off that right in front of where my resistor is. I didn't put that middle one in there very straight, so I gotta move it. 6, 5. All right, green is 5. And finally, our last one goes from the blue to the 3. All right, so let me I know it's kind of hard to see, but just follow the schematic and it'll all work out. All right. So once you've got that set up, our circuit is looking good. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the software, guys. On It's Learning, if you go into the labs, you will find a text document that has all of this. I just want to point out, now we're actually defining pins at the top. So hashtag define blue, we're saying the blue jumper wire or the blue pin is pin number 3. Green is 5, red is 6. All right, setting them up just like normal. So now we can use red since we've defined them. So red output, green output, blue output. And let's just go ahead and set red to be high to start. All right, so that's letting us know that we're going to start with red. So I'm going to click the check mark and then the arrow, and I just want to make sure that mine comes on. All right. So let me click the button here to reset. If I click that, it'll reset it. All right, so see, I'm starting with red, then it rotates to blue, and then it goes to kind of that like pinkish color back to red. So I'm rotating through the RGB spectrum, all right? Rotating through the RGB spectrum. So I'm going to turn this so you can kind of see it a little better. So we got our red, and then we're kind of touching into like the green blue now, and then we go into like a purple because the red and blue, and then back to red. All right, so if you take a look at your code, a lot of this is being done with loops, which we have not talked about. I do encourage you to read through this code. At this point, we're still kind of just learning how to make the circuits and then load the code onto our board. We're going to come back and revisit this once we get a little more heavy into the coding, but we're not there yet. All right. If you want to, I do encourage you to manipulate some of these numbers, see how you can get it to work. But other than that, guys, this is what I'm looking for. So to get your formative grade, what you need to do is you actually need to pull out your camera, and I want you to take a video of this light going through the spectrums, and that's what you're going to submit on It's Learning for the grade. All right. Appreciate it, guys. That wraps up lab number 4, the RGB LED lab, and I will see you next time with lab 5. We're going to start with digital inputs. All right. Thanks, guys.